It's time for another episode of WTF. No, not what the fuck, what the football. Yep, episode 2. So the first one was went pretty alright actually, so I'm going to keep it going, see how we get on. So we're going to start all the way down in League 2 with Hartlepool. Midweek, drawing 3-3 with Crewe Alexandra, and then losing 2-1 at home to Notts County, which is no surprise because that seems to be a common scoreline whenever Hartlepool play Notts County, is always 2-1. But yeah, they're not looking too shabby, are they? I know I said last week about how, you know, could maybe this be a good season for them? Could they get a top half finish? They've dropped down to 13th, I believe. 5 points out of 4 games. Considering some of the starts that Hartlepool have had in recent seasons, it's a good start, you know, compared to most of them, which have been horrifyingly bad. So maybe things are actually changing for the better down at Hartlepool. It's going to be interesting to see again. Still early doors, but they are on the right track. That much is for sure. You can tell that there's definitely a different feel as well down there whenever they play. You know, it's almost more positive than here we go. We lost again. Oh look, we're in the bottom of the table. Yep, it's coming this season again. Relegation fight. You know, so it's good to see that they're trying to stick in there, that's what they need to do. So moving further north, we have Newcastle United. What can we gain from this one? To be honest, you know, playing Reading, beating them 4-1. To be honest, it was a pretty even game. Newcastle took their chances, you know, and that's what you got to do in football to win games. Take your chances, simple as that. Bristol City at the weekend, I felt, had a majority of that game under their feet, put it that way. Newcastle on the back foot, but they got the one goal that they needed, and to everyone's surprise, I'm not choosing Sergio Aguero either, because Dwight Gale, fantastic free kick, an okay goal against Bristol City away, but Dwight Gale is going to be the player of the week, that's for sure, because to be honest, Newcastle, they need that's the player now. That's Mitrovic. I think he's done for. His days are going to be numbered because Gale has hit the ground running at Newcastle. He's trying every which way he can, you know, to get in on goal, which is for Newcastle fans. That's good to see, you know, because we could personally, from a Sunderland point of view, I hope they stay down in the Championship for a good few seasons and bin Mike Ashley, like I've said previously, because that's what they need to do. Because they get in the Premier League again, give it a few years, they'll be back down again. Because Mike Ashley is just all about that, and Newcastle fans even know that. But you know, if they do go back up, then it'd be good to see 3 northeast teams back up there. Which brings me further south, ever so slightly, by around 18 miles, to Sunderland. Well, we need fucking players, don't we? Talk about at the bare bones of the squad. You know, it's unbelievable. We're doing what Newcastle did last season, relying on youngsters to try and keep us in the Premier League. It failed fucking there, and you know. So what's that going to say about Sunderland, really? You know. So yeah, losing 2-1 to Middlesbrough. It's not exactly an ideal result, but you know what? It doesn't really, even though it was built up as a derby, it doesn't really hurt as much as what it would against Newcastle, to be honest, because I guess Middlesbrough, out of those 3 clubs, have been the mediocre team for quite a while, and yeah, they got a win again, took the chances, got to give them the credit for that, you can't fault them, but at the end of the day, they still look mediocre. Don't get me wrong, Sunderland look a shambles at the minute. Kind of reminds you of last season. Well, actually, no, it wasn't as bad as the start of last season, but you know, it's not far off. But yeah, and the Middlesbrough fans commented in the video from yesterday, you know, oh, they've been the pride of the North East for 50 years. Yeah, we're celebrating 10 years consecutively in the Premier League. Where have Middlesbrough been in those 10 years? Majority of them in the Championship. Yeah, and then they brought up the fact about UEFA Cup final. Did you win that? No. Okay, we got to a League Cup final. No, we didn't win that. That's fine. But yeah, you bring up a UEFA Cup final that you couldn't even win. So it's kind of a pointless argument, really, saying you're the pride of the North East. You know, it's hard to actually fathom where you would even begin to suggest how Middlesbrough are the pride of the North East. By the way, if you're still here banging and drilling, it's because they're now working on the roof, putting scaffolding around there now. So yeah, yip-de-doo-dah day. Honestly, it's like a fucking scaffolding convention around these parts. So moving on to Manchester City, winning 4-1. Obviously before that in midweek, they won 5-0 against Steaua Bucharest. And the reason why Sergio Aguero doesn't get the player of the week is, simply put, how can a striker miss 2 penalties? I mean, in the space of 13 minutes. I believe it was Nolito who gave them the lead after Aguero had a penalty saved. And then from that, some 8 minutes later, Aguero smashes a penalty against the bar. Now granted, he went on to score a hat-trick, you know, that's what he needs to do, he's a good player. And this is the season he has hit the ground fucking by storm. Not quite as stormy as Suarez, 17 goals in 6 games I believe, compared to Aguero, who's played 3 games and scored 5 goals? 6 goals, sorry. So not quite as stormy as Luis Suarez. But yeah, so that's the reason why you can't have a striker miss 2 penalties, not in the same game. Fair enough, back-to-back games is forgivable, especially the fact that he scored, but not in the same game. That just can't be done. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? You know, to even fathom that. You know. So moving back to the 4-1 victory. I mean, not Hull City, Manchester City. Jesus Christ, they're going to take this season by storm, aren't they, Pep Guardiola? I mean, granted, I thought Guardiola was going to need more time. I'll admit, in the last FTW video, boy was I wrong. Guardiola's just hit the ground running, and I'll put my hands up right now. I was wrong. I thought he would have needed a good few weeks, get his team together. They could still lose a couple of matches in between, for the first few weeks, like I said, but I'll be surprised if City even lose a match all season. They are just looking unstoppable. They're ready to wreak havoc on anyone. Absolutely anyone. So moving to Hull City, who've got a good 2-0 win. Actually, no, we'll scrap that first, because it's been a bit of a close one, okay, for my team of the week. I will have to go back again because I missed something out. But yeah, so Burnley beating Liverpool by 2-0, I believe it was. Everyone goes on about the purple patch when Liverpool played Arsenal. Yep. All you've got to say, Liverpool fans, there's your purple patch. I'm sorry. 2-0 against Burnley. So moving to Hull City, who are my team of the week again, winning 2-0. And you think, for a depleted fucking squad with only 13 senior players, are they going to do a Leicester? And we're granted they have to beat Manchester City, who look fucking unstoppable. Are Hull City going to do a Leicester? 13 senior players, technically no official manager, or officially recognised manager, and could we be on for one of those, another season like we had last season with Leicester winning the title? Could maybe, an unknown, well not unknown, but an unknown contender win it? And you've got to say, with Hull City, they're pulling together like a fucking solid team. And you know what? After watching that horror show, Sunderland and Middlesbrough can learn something from Hull City. Number 1, about how to pass a ball. Number 2, about how to play as an actual team. Because at times, Middlesbrough fans, you've got to admit, sloppy passing, really sloppy passing. Don't get me wrong, Sunderland were nowhere near better. And not a chance, were they? We couldn't hold a candle to you for the passing. I'll give you credit there. But both teams can learn a fucking lot from Hull City and the way they've been playing, that's for sure. So we'll quickly pop back to Wearside, and the worst player of the weekend goes to Stuart Downing, who at times could string good passes together and then just completely failed. Then he comes out at the end of the match, we deserve to win. We deserve to win. Really, Stuart Downing? Well, the reason why you have got worst player of the weekend. Simply put, if the FA could listen to fans and deduct points from clubs, Sunderland and Middlesbrough would be sitting on about minus 10 points because they were that was the worst game I have ever sat through. Ever. How any team even scored in that game is beyond me. Still a good goal by Stuani. I'm not going to fault that for the first one. Sloppy defending by Sunderland for the second. But then even sloppier by Middlesbrough. So, yeah, Downing, we deserve to win. No, I say Downing, you are the worst player of the weekend by far. So what was the game of the weekend? Well, this has been a real toughie, and it's been a tricky one to choose. It really has. But my game of the weekend, I've got to give it, even though Hull City got team of the weekend, it's got to be Burnley's display against Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool were banging on the fucking door. They had no answer. And then to top it off, Burnley had insult to injury and scored, two goals. It's just beyond beggars' belief. It really is. Yeah. What more can you say? What more can you actually say? So Burnley are the team of the weekend without a doubt, because I did not, for the life of me, see that result coming. I thought that was just one way Liverpool. I genuinely did. And Burnley, credit to you. And Burnley fans, I apologise. I got it wrong with what I thought. So, just quickly, going to briefly touch, you've got the Capital One Cup coming up on Wednesday, Sunderland at home against Shrewsbury Town. To be honest, David Moyes, he can't really change the team. He needs to try and keep the same team, roughly, a few changes maybe. But let's just hope some of the injured players that are coming back can actually get a look in, even if it's just half an hour, it's a start for them. I'm going to predict that Sunderland win this quite comfortably. I'm going to say 4-0. Let's just hope it's not another Exeter. Let's just hope it's not another Exeter City. Although running away with a 6-0 scoreline would be good, but I'm going to say 4-0. And I'm going to back Jermaine Defoe to be the main man in this one. I'm going to say he'll bag another hat-trick, like he did in the first Capital One Cup game last season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. The bell end's got to go to... The pre-big bell end has to go to the referee. It's as easy as that, because the referee yesterday was diabolical. He was a fucking shambles all over the place. And at times, I think even Middlesbrough fans were even questioning some of his dodgy calls when they should have had clear free kicks. And we should have had clear free kicks and a penalty. Handball in the box. Wow, really? But never mind. Hey, what's done is done. No use crying over spilt fucking milk in it. So that's me. That's my prediction and my preview for that, just briefly, because I haven't got a lot of time. So Thursday I'll do the final whistle for the Capital One Cup match. We'll see how it goes on. And Friday I'll bring up the preview for, I believe it's the Southampton game. I believe it's Southampton, or might be Everton. No, I think it's Southampton then Everton. I don't fucking know. My head's all over the place, man. I've got a billion and one things to do, but hey, never fucking mind. And well, don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the True Mackem, as many of you have done, and thank you. Huge thank you, by the way, to everyone watching it yesterday. Even with your comments, even the deluded Borough fans. I'll give you a shout as well. Why the fuck not? It's football at the end of the day. Second most successful video ever in my YouTube career. Not as successful as the one where we relegated Newcastle after beating Everton. But hey ho, thank you very much for watching it. And thank all of you for subscribing as well. Keep it up. Comments below, what do you think about the weekend's games? And what do you think about the preview? Who's going to win? Quite frankly, I'm confident in Sunderland. Albeit fuck knows why after yesterday. But it could be a turning point. You never know. It could be a turning point in our season. Fingers fucking crossed. Miracles fucking happen. God, reminds you of the Gus Poyet era, doesn't it? Jesus Christ.